Okay, so let's talk about Lisa Rinna. She's been making some comments recently looking back at her time on Beverly Hills.
Right. And a big part of it is her pushing back on the idea she was like deliberately trying to ruin people's lives on the show.
She says that wasn't it. But she does admit there's still some bitterness left over, for her and the others.
Yeah, even 2 years after she left, she feels they all sort of carry it still.
And then you have her husband, Harry Hamlin, weighing in. His take was pretty blunt.
Oh, yeah. Basically saying her job was to be difficult, or the source used the word surety for ratings.
That it was necessary for the show to keep it going.
Exactly. A very kind of pragmatic view of reality TV. That stirring things up was just functional for the job.
And Rinna seems to be echoing that a bit now, saying that looking back after these 2 years, she doesn't actually dislike the women.
Which is interesting, right? Because she admits she had to work with them in a way that was prickly, her word.
To make a television show. That was the justification.
It frames the drama very much as a performance, or at least a role she played for production.
And Harry Hamlin just doubled down on that, reportedly told her, that was your job.
Yeah. Your job was to be shardy from time to time to get ratings. Puts a very professional, almost cold lens on those personal fights we watched.
But even calling it a job, she still acknowledges the emotional fallout, saying they all carry so much of it.
Right. And that they could let it go. They made a great show together. There's that tension again.
Between the role she played and how it actually felt, or still feels. She even apparently tried to patch things up with Camille Grammer, years after calling her an a-hole.
Yeah, the sources mentioned that specific attempt at reconciliation.
But Camille hasn't publicly responded, apparently.
Not as of the reporting, no.
Okay, so that's one whole side of this. The reality TV dynamics, the performance, the bitterness. But then the conversation shifts dramatically.
Completely. She also opened up about something incredibly personal and, frankly, quite harrowing. Her experience with postpartum depression.
After her second daughter, Amelia Hamlin, was born, and she said she didn't even recognize it for what it was at the time.
Right. And the details she shared were, well, they were intense.
Horrifying hallucinations. That's what she described.
Yeah, of killing people.
So bad she felt she had to get knives out of the house. Just as a precaution against herself, it sounds like.
That's how extreme it was. And also visions of driving into a brick wall. It sounds like profound hopelessness or really dark depression.
She made a really important clarification, though.
Crucial, yeah. That these horrible thoughts, these visions, they weren't about hurting the baby.
No, it was about her own despair, her own internal state, not directed at Amelia.
Which points towards severe depression, possibly with psychotic features, rather than, say, postpartum psychosis, specifically focused on the infant. A key distinction.
And looking back now, years later, she apparently said she felt she was completely psychotic during that time.
Which really underlines how severe and terrifying that must have been. To go through that without fully understanding it then.
It's such a stark contrast, isn't it? You have this discussion about strategically being prickly for a TV show.
Yeah, navigating the conflicts, the job aspect.
And then layered underneath or happening alongside this hidden, incredibly frightening personal battle with severe mental illness.
It absolutely complicates how you see her public persona during those years. Yeah. Knowing this was going on behind the scenes, we saw the drama, the argument, and now we know there was this profound private struggle happening too.
Makes you really question how much we ever know about public figures, especially on reality TV where things are so curated but also meant to feel real.
And how sharing these deeply personal things later can totally reframe how you understand their past actions, their whole narrative.